Hello and welcome to another edition of A Lot of Help. We are surviving Christmas, folks. That's right here on JLJ Media. I am the James Lott Jr. of A Lot of Help. That's with two T's, not one. And I have a very special guest. We're going to talk about how to stay optimistic and how to get through this pandemic type holiday season. Let's say that 5 times fast. She's an educator and CEO of Optimist Daily. Now, I want to tell you what their mission is, because there's a mission here. She's a news publisher who uses multimedia approach to offer formulas for success to its audiences. And she has optimistdaily.com. And they also are into, let's see, I'll make sure I have this correct. Implement positive solution focus, which I love, mindset into everyday practice. That's something that I'm all about solutions. I'm all about this life. Let's just figure it out. Life is crazy and hard. We got to figure it out. Summers McKay is my guest. Summers.
James, thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to be here and delighted by all of your fabulous holidayness behind you. You are knocking it out of the park with your festive enthusiasm.
I'm trying to do my tree. My little tiny tree.
Oh, it's darling. It is that's smaller than ours. We have a tabletop too because I have a toddler, but that is so festive and so fun.
I'm going to buy some more little bulbs. And I'm going to buy the little tiny bulbs. I think I saw some disco ball ones. I'll put them on there. And then I have the tinsel, the old fashioned tinsel. I'll do it. And I have some little lights there somewhere. So it's going to be like everything's miniature. But
so cute.
I'll tell you something. I can share this with you because, it's just my life coaching podcast. And having the Christmas lights up already, and I have them outside too. Done. They're already outside also. On the timer. Everybody get a timer. That's the best thing to do. I feel better.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for me, it's the nighttime. When the world and the city gets quieter, my emotions get louder. Mm-hmm. I feel calmer when I have all the lights on. And I have all the lights on. And I have the burning candle. And I have a fireplace, as you can see back there. All kinds of stuff. So I love it. So what are your thoughts about that kind of? Because general thoughts about that.
Well, right now, I think one of the most important things we can do to maintain optimism during this weird pandemic is to not give up our traditions and not give up those things that we cherish. And, it's almost a year to, if you're going to be stuck at home, decorate like crazy, really get into it and spread the joy and the cheer through all of the different, ways that you can, showing pictures, having calls, and just as you're doing right now, just on the other side of my office, because my office is tiny, my entire living room is sparkling with Christmas decorations. And I feel like it's very, very important to find ways to, really lift ourselves up and to glow in some form of tradition, because so much has been taken away and so much is different this year.
I agree. And I like that. I told people anyway, I said, when the pandemic started, and I'm in LA, so we had the heavy lockdowns here.
Yeah.
Every place is different.
Yeah. And back to heavy lockdown again, obviously.
But for me, I told people on a lot of my shows, you have to make your space cozy and comfortable for you because now you're in it.
Exactly. Yeah. We now live at work, right? We don't work from home. We live at work. Our homes are our everything, and our family. It's just, we actually went through, we've got 3 kids at home, 2 one is 16 and one is 18. Our 18-year-old is actually taking a gap year because we weren't going to send him to his freshman year of college in pandemic year. And so we took time with each of our kids to allow them to redecorate the room, to repaint, to change things, just so that there was a sense of each of them had their individual expression of comfort in this very, very different period where we were just all up in each other's space. So finding a way to define each of their spaces with, new paint and some reorganized furniture and, trash bags full of stuff that they'd outgrown that it was time to donate and move on, give away and build, nicely in their own rooms. And it's really made a difference, I think there are a lot of families whose households are just slammed full of people and everybody needs their space.
You said something, I'm going to quote this in this description. We live at work, not work from home. It's totally is, because I love the way you put that. It's so true. And what's happening is the professional organizer side of being focused on the super organizer, 13 to 12 years next month.
Oh God, could you come help us move?
Exactly what I'm saying. Exactly. That's what's so funny, Summers. I'm finding during this whole pandemic, I was really busy. I've been really busy because now you're at home and you see everything.
Yes.
And you see what doesn't work. You see what systems do work, and you see all your stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of times we're gone
Right.
for 8 to 10 hours a day. You're not in it.
Right.
You know it's there.
You don't have to.
There.
It's just don't look at it. Yeah.
Exactly. But now you said you're sitting in it, and you're like, I don't like this anymore. It's like, no, my nerves. So I've been busy. I've been busy all summer.
You know, I think I hear that from a lot of people, is that they actually found themselves busier during the pandemic. Certainly any parents who are working from home, right? Your game changed. Yeah. But then also those people who live alone have found themselves increasingly occupied with lots of different things that they're doing. And as you know, as a life coach, there has been kind of a step away from that self-centering time, that time to return to what it is that makes you feel good. We've been scurrying to be productive, but we've sort of abandoned ourselves a little bit. And the holidays are always a time to return to focus, to return to family, and to return to self. So it's kind of a perfect time for us to pivot, decorate our homes, sit with our cozy mugs. And, you know, I have my Christmas mug here.
I like that. I do. I like that. You know, I think the thing that what you're saying is so true. I feel like for Thanksgiving, I didn't go see my kids and grandkids. We couldn't go to it. They went to a tournament in Arizona, so they'd be quarantined 14 days. So I couldn't
right. So
what I did is I had my tradition that I usually would do with them. I did a smaller version. So I recommend, take what Summers is saying, but also adjust it to volume, quantity, quality.
Right.
I made game hens for it. That's my tradition.
I love game hens.
Make a little game hen, all the fixings. So I still make game hens for myself, and all the fixings, but like half the dose, half the amount. I still have my little dinner plate, and I said everything. I did everything. I had my drinks. I had everything I was going to have that I would normally have with them. I still had it, but at a smaller portion. And it did make me feel good. It made me feel good.
It does. Well, there are other things we can do right now to feel good. Something, at the Optimist Daily, we talk a lot about sort of doing a little bit every day, right? And whether it's finding your daily dose of optimism, reading a positive news story, but also just what about cheer and joy can you bring every day? So for us, we have encouraged our readers and listeners to really spread joy. And even if it is spread just a little bit every day, something that was kind of a cool creative idea that came across through our writers was start writing thank you notes before you get gifts. Start writing thank you notes as your Christmas gift to people that have inspired you or empowered you or done something lovely for you throughout the year. Write a thank you note because you have already received gifts this year. And it's that gratitude guides your attitude mindset that if you look at all of the people that you can touch on a daily basis or people who have touched or inspired you, and you just start thanking them ahead of time, it becomes the gift itself. And I think a lot of times the materialism of this holiday season can really eclipse the emotions. But this year, we don't have the luxury of hundreds of thousands of, presents under the tree, under a great big tree and a huge, my family, oftentimes we have 42 people at Christmas. That's 42 people. And this year, we're not going to have that. This year, we're not going to have, and we gather at a location that has an enormous tree and there are so many presents, nobody can even, you can barely get through them all. And it's just filled with like love and gratitude, but not really, because it's also like hectic and super stressful.
Yeah, right.
And so now we can just kind of abandon that for a moment and instead just start being grateful and start saying thank you.
I'm a very much of a thankful person and thankful and praising people and telling you, I'm a person who always says, I love you to my friends, my family all the time. And I say it,
so important.
I say it. I lost a brother myself, so I know what it feels like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm like, And I just feel like you got to say it now. And my mother just survived. She survived breast cancer this year. Thanks to my
Congratulations to
mom.
your mother.
So get
Wow.
mammograms, folks. They do save lives. They caught it early
Yes.
enough.
Yes.
And I know they're not comfortable, but she tells everybody, tell everybody to get mammograms.
Yeah.
So she says, oh, I don't need anything physical. I mean, I can buy whatever I want anyway, most of the time. There's nothing I really need. So I like your idea of like turning it into just the things that are in your life. Those are the gifts. I mean, I get my mother for another year at least, however long.
Exactly.
I get to live in a house again that I love. I was going to take care of my house that I own. And so I like that whole shifting that, gratitude meets, was it gratitude?
Gratitude guides the attitude.
Guides the attitude. I love that. It does. It really does. It really does. When you really start to look at your life in a different way than just pandemic, can't eat outside, can't do that. Well, then what can you do? And what you're still alive, you're healthy probably. So that's a gift.
Right.
That's good.
Right.
So can you go somewhere and get it to go? And do you have a space you can sit and eat? It's really nice. I mean, I think I break it down I think it's stuff like that, right?
I heard this this conversation, I think on NPR, or I'm not sure exactly where I was listening to it, but it was a writer who took on the task. It was a journalist who took on the task of saying thank you to everything that got involved in him getting his morning cup of coffee. Oh. And it even went down, to on the micro level, he had to thank the guy who made the cement that paved the road that paved the road that he drove on to go to the store in the car, and the thousands of people who participate in this small act of joy, your cup of coffee. And this, this small act of joy for me, my favorite Christmas pattern, right? Cup of coffee. There are so many people along the way who've contributed to that. And if we think about it, not only in the context of who all can we thank, also perhaps who all have we given joy to in just some small way in just our daily acts of doing our things that we're responsible for. So when you're grateful to others, you begin to develop more gratitude for yourself.
I like that. I do.
Yeah.
I do. Stop. This is an important one.
Okay. Next up. Yes.
Stop Zoom scrolling. Doom scrolling.
Zoom scrolling. I mean, Zoom scrolling is also kind of rude. No, Zoom scrolling. I meant
Zoom because I'm on Zoom right now. I know it's going to mess that up. It's just live, folks. We're recording this live. Yeah, so, I mean, doom scrolling. It's really interesting because I had a friend I had talked off the ledge yesterday. He was on Instagram, and it was just like, why me? Why not me? Why not me? I'm like, stop it.
Right.
So talk about that a little bit.
Okay, so there are a couple kinds of doom scrolling, right? Certainly there is, there's doom scrolling where you are just aggressively consuming negative media, right? If you go on to Google News, you can look at 50 negative stories, and none of those stories have solutions. All they talk about are problems. They don't talk about solutions or focus on how we can create new things. And you can just go down this emotionally exhaustive rabbit hole, whether it's, climate anxiety or politics or social justice, or where you're not looking for solutions, right? And then there's another kind of doom scrolling where it's jealousy, right? You're scrolling through Instagram and you're looking at people and their lives and their pictures of their food or their cats, and they're, and you wish your cat was that cute. I don't know. But there is this emotional doom scrolling that can happen, whether it be looking at global experiences or even just ones in your home and your family and that competitive. This is just the most negative activity you can do for yourselves. And unfortunately, the technological algorithms that a lot of us fall prey to in social media kind of feed on that, right? So if you click on something negative and then you get riled up, you're going to click on something else, and it's just going to continue to serve you negative content. So at the Optimist Daily, we're like, just stop. Right? Just stop doom scrolling, turn off the negative news channels, don't read them. You can get your news, you can get your information, you can determine what's going on in this world without having to read the, clickbait headlines. And I call it headline bait, right? And they're just there to sort of bring you an emotional response. Now, additionally, while you're doom scrolling, you can also do it something different where you can aggressively look for positive solution-based media, right? And that's the antidote, and that, that's what we do at the Optimist Daily, but there are so many good media sources, certainly here in this conversation, a lot of help, right? You're looking for help.
Yeah.
We're offering help and positive experiences just by seeking those out. So we have to be librarians of our own data, librarians of our own news, that we go and we curate the right kind of content to come into our daily lives. And the negative doom scrolling is just a rabbit hole of toxic brain candy that's just going to make you just emotionally obese. And there is no point. Instead, seek out the really good stuff.
And what's interesting, folks, I'm going to piggyback off of Summers and tell people out there, with the algorithms, most of the time you can design what your feeds look like.
Yes.
So follow what she's saying.
Yep.
Go and find, we'll start at Optimist Daily, of course.
Exactly. Thank you.
Find positive places that have positive messages, positive memes, positive pictures. Start liking them, hitting on them, following them, and it's going to start to populate your feed. So there's a way you can also block people.
Right. Do not worry about blocking people, blocking news outlets, and also on Twitter or any of the platforms, you might be regularly receiving ads for prompted media. It'll be like, this celebrity did this terrible thing.
Right.
You can mute those ads, and by muting those ads, you can teach the algorithm that's not the kind of stuff you want to see. That's not appropriate for you. That's not going to get your eyeballs. Right. And it will learn with you. You're exactly spot on this, James.
Yeah, you can. So folks are like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, no, you can do it. But see, every time you go on and keep seeing the negative tweets or negative comments, they come to literally whatever you touch, especially on these phones, everybody got their phones. You can go on Amazon, look for something, all of a sudden it's on your Facebook page. Like it's that connected. So
go on to Amazon and look up inspirational books.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just Google inspirational books and look at the ads that come your way.
There you go.
So
I totally agree with that. But it doesn't help you in the long run. It does not help you, and that's the bottom line.
Right.
Makes you feel unworthy, alone, more alone. And I know I have friends who have gone on. I will admit this. I'll admit this. I have no problem. During the summertime, this was last year, not this year. Like last year, I was traveling more. I remember seeing everyone in my Instagram feed. They were all on vacation.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm working my buns off with my 2 companies, and
everybody's partying.
Right. Yeah. They're all partying. Does anybody work? Does anybody work? And I got depressed for a minute. For a couple of days, I got depressed, and I had to stop doom scrolling. For me, to me, that was doom scrolling, because I was turning it around to, woe is me. I can't get a vacation. Oh my God. Like, I took a vacation later that year, but like the whole point was I just felt like everybody was having fun but me. I'm busy.
Right.
Like, what the F are you guys all doing? So that's how I felt. And then I had to stop because it was detrimental.
Yeah. Well, okay. So, and then there's another side of that, though, that is also the negative social media posting, right? Where you can doom scroll by way of commiseration. Yes. And so this is tricky, right? I feel like I'm like Goldilocks in the 3 social media channels here, but you can commiserate, and you can get really easily into conversations about like, this sucks, or this is terrible, or this, and somebody can post like, oh, my Christmas this year is miserable, and you can be like, mine too. Or you can say, I'm going to lift that person, and I'm going to lift myself, because I'm going to go see somebody who's feeling negative, and I'm going to share something positive with them. And that is how we not only prevent ourselves from doom scrolling, but we can counteract the effects of others who are feeling the negativity. And that's kind of our next recommended course of action, which is share something good.
And I do it all the time. I love it.
Yeah. And I would say normally I'm just, I'm very big on the social media and the social sharing. That's what we do at Optimist Daily, right? We've got 60 articles, positive news stories a week. We want you to share the heck out of them.
Yeah.
But this season, I want you to do something other than just social media sharing. Okay. I want you to pick up a phone and call and tell someone a good story.
I like that.
Right? Don't just share it on social media. Pick one friend for 5 minutes and say, hey, can I just call you? I just want to tell you this lovely thing that I read.
I like that.
And just that little itty bitty behavior of picking up the phone and having a conversation with somebody that you might not have spoken to, or perhaps you might have seen them in passing. Perhaps they might, I don't think everyone's going to call their barista at, Starbucks. Those poor people would be very busy, but just pick up a phone and tell someone a positive news story. And I liken it to what we call as like a positive news white elephant gift exchange, right? So you're going to just call someone and give them a gift they didn't know they were getting, and you didn't know you were going to give.
Yeah.
But I wanted to share something positive with you. Do it by phone, do it by email, do it in some way other than just our social media broadcasting. Do it on a person-to-person level and give someone else the gift. Just share something good with someone else in a way that will help us all feel more connected as people, while we sit in our homes on our Zoom calls, totally wearing fuzzy socks under this sort of business looking outfit.
Yes.
Yes. I love it. I need to order another Santa hat and start wearing it to all meetings.
Mine's all disco-fied, so
it's so fabulous.
Thank you. No, so my friend Phil Svitek is another coach, is a content coach. He does something for his birthday, which is around this time. It's like a week ago, so around this time. Instead of people giving him presents, he gives us a present, which he said it's either like a job he'll do for you, like I'll edit some for free. We're all creative, so
right.
Or I'll be on your podcast and we'll talk about something, whatever you want to talk about. Or I'll come sweep your house, or all these kind of things. So for me, I'm a plant person. I have a lot of plants in my house, inside and outside. He can't keep plants because I have a brown thumb. I said, well, get me a plant. That'll be your plant. I'll be the surrogate.
And it can live with you.
He came, he give me a plant. So I have a plant here. But he came by, and there's dogs. We played in the yard. We social distance. We had a mask on, but we played with dogs. Yeah. He gave me the plants. I put it somewhere, and now it's starting to grow. So it's kind of funny. It's like I love this kind of sharing the good. And I think and online, I post pictures of my garden. People love my pictures of my garden, my flowers, my trees, and they're blooming, and it's just pictures. I don't post it, no big captions. I just say scenes from my garden. And I post it, and people tell me they really put a smile on their face. They go,
I'm sure they do.
It's like, it's so pretty. And right now it's like fall in my front yard. The leaves are all brown and they're on the ground. It looks just like fall. It's crazy here in LA and all places.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So I showed that, and I just put it online for my East Coast Midwest family, and they were like, it reminds us of here. So I know it reminds me of home. It reminds me of Pittsburgh. It reminds me of New York. So I think I love those sharing thing. And I have friends who always say to me, you're always so nice. You actually repost or retweet or share our stuff. I go, if it's positive, I will share it.
Yeah.
If it's not positive, I don't share it. If it's funny, I'll share it. If it's not positive, I don't do that. My page is not. And I tell people all the time, your pages, remember the Summers, your pages are not a democracy, they're a dictatorship. They are your page.
Exactly.
Whatever you want. Don't let anybody tell you what to do on your page. That is your page. Which also that means on the flip side, whatever you want to come through is also up to you too.
Right. It is completely your page. You're also wholly responsible for whatever it is you say.
Yes, exactly. So, see, exactly. So I'm like,
yeah.
And then you also have which I love that. And then the kind of the last one is to find your purpose. That's probably the hardest one for a lot of people. I found my purpose in my 40s. It took me 20-some years as an adult to find it, but I found it. Talk about that, finding your purpose.
Okay, so finding your purpose in this context, and we won't make it a huge find your purpose, because that can perhaps be overwhelming. And certainly as we go into New Year's resolutions, and everyone's like, what's my purpose in my pajamas? But finding your purpose in this holiday season is about realigning with whatever role you would normally play in a holiday season, right? It's about finding the purpose. So if you're the person, if you're the person at the family party who always makes the turkey or always carves the turkey, still be that person, and be that person by way of teaching others how to carve turkeys. Send your family a short video on your instructions of carving the turkey. Or if you're the person who bakes the cookies and always brings the desserts, get a little ahead of schedule, get organized, and bake those cookies and send them. Your purpose during the holiday season hasn't been eradicated by the pandemic. It's just changed how you're going to do it. If you lead the carols, record songs, or send people playlists that they should listen to, if you are the cleaner upper of dishes, totally me, you're off the hook this year. No,
Right.
no, but if, it just, whatever it is, like if somebody says, oh, I always clean the dishes, but what I love doing about it is that I get to talk to my family while I get the dishes cleaned. Well, then have that conversation, really get to the core of whatever it is that you fundamentally love about the holiday season, and find a way to do it in our socially distanced way, in our, COVID crazy,
Right.
find a way to have your purpose shine through during the holiday season. And on a grander level, and we'll talk next month about resolutions.
Yes, we can do that. You're
exactly, for finding bigger purposes. But right now,
yeah.
give yourself a break and just bake the cookies, just carve the turkey.
Yes, definitely. And you're totally welcome back on, of course, about that. I like stuff like that. But no, I agree. I think right now, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, what you're basically saying is just get through the holiday.
Yeah.
Get through the holiday best you can. Do the things that you would like to see and have happen, continue them, do them, bring yourself joy and optimism in your life. And just, there's stuff going on out there. So while you're in, make your in nice. Make it
exactly.
Make it your safe haven. Just make it nice for yourself and your family or whoever's around you. Because you and your dog,
Exactly. And make the impression that make whatever it is nice for others from the confines of your home. Right? Make it nice for others, because we all know, whether it's that phone call or that thank you letter or the cookies that come in the mail, that's going to lift someone else's day. And, it's gratitude guides the attitude, and how we affect others is how we affect ourselves. So focus on getting through, being kind, put down doom scrolling, read positive stuff, wear a Santa hat, and just we're all going to be okay. We're going to get through this. And there is a light at the end of the tunnel.
I agree with you. We are going to get through this, folks. I mean, we're humans. We're resilient.
Yes.
We also have ingenuity, and people are finding ways. And I think that's what you have to believe in yourself and just go, okay, this, like I said, beginning of pandemic, I told myself, I don't want to sit around and be depressed. I just don't want to do that. It was a mindset. I said, no, and I made a plan. And so I had moments. Of course. I had some screamy moments. When I first could get my head's short now, but when I couldn't get my hair cut, that was a little problem for a while.
I got creative. I do my own.
I'm telling you, it was a little rough. These are first world problems. I get it.
I'm a different shade of blonde than I ever knew.
Isn't that funny? No, seriously, I had a little fro. I was like, I haven't had a fro since the 80s. So I did that. I was like, okay. It's just like, it's life is very interesting right now. And what I'm hearing from a lot of people are either they're talking to their friends more than they used to because of Zoom and stuff, or they've slowed down. They're like, wow, we're slowed down. I actually am seeing things differently. There are a lot of great things in the middle. I always say, out of tragedy and crisis, beauty can be born. It happens all the time. Great literature, great music, great movies, great TV shows. A lot of stuff is happening right now. I work in the creative community, and a lot of us were creating stuff that probably wouldn't have happened if this hadn't happened. So they're saying, we don't want the pandemic. We didn't want it.
Right. Absolutely.
But we're optimistic.
Well, and at the Optimist Daily, we've had a unbelievable explosion of readers and listeners and subscribers and everyone. You can get a free subscription to the Optimist Daily, where you sign up, and every day in your inbox you'll get 5 positive news stories. Right? That's just what we do, and our readership has just gone gangbusters this pandemic season, right? And the fundamental reason is people are looking for positive solutions, because we don't want to feel like we are victims of whatever is happening around us. Instead, we want to feel like we are proactive. And I think that while no one wanted the pandemic to happen, and it has been a tragic, sad thing, and people have lost businesses, and there continues to be a loss of life that is just unprecedented, what there is also is this resurgence of a knowledge that we are a community together, and we have to help one another, and we have to say, enough of this negativity. It's time to buckle down with optimism and GSD, right? It's just time. It's time for good stuff to happen. So I'm very, I'm bullish on optimism. That's part of my job. And I have a big old team of folks that are bullish too, but we're really grateful for how just the fact that the world has given us great signs that people are committed to good things ahead.
Yes. Well, I live in gratitude of you, Summers McKay,
James,
for your
thank
optimism.
you.
Seriously, I do. I mean, I think it's great, and what you're doing is people out there. Whatever you do does affect someone you don't know. You may not think it does, but it does. So you just never know the ripple effect what's happening. So what you're doing is a great ripple effect. Great waves are happening because of your work.
Thank you. That that honor is shared with you as well, and the light and joy you bring through this podcast and all of your 347 other shows and all the work you do as a storyteller and a creative. Thank you for committing to that creative work and the helping the world be a better place.
I hope so. I hope I'm doing that. So folks, Summers McKay, it's optimistdaily.com is the website. Go there, sign up for free, right? For the email, sign up for free.
Yep.
And get some positivity. Come on,
and
folks.
you can also listen to us on Optimist Daily Update. We have a daily podcast. It's just a quick dose. My co-host Christy Jansen and I, she's our Chief Content Officer.
Hi, Christy.
She and I chat away. Yep. Hi, Christy. We chat away 5 days a week. So we will make sure to cross promo with you guys and offer as many listeners optimistic options as we can. Thank you for having us on.
Yes, folks, go there, get some stuff going on, see what's going on over there. Join the Optimist crew. Just do it. Do it. I'm joining it. We're all going to do it. We're going to do it. So, folks, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr.'s are sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. alotofhelp.com is the website. That's 2 T's, not one. JLJ Media is the online channel. I have from soap operas to Star Wars and everything in between on there. Please subscribe. I never remember where it is. It could be underneath her or me. So subscribe button's either there or it's there. I never point the right direction. It's like, or down, just this down below. It's somewhere. It's that away. So it's below one of us. Hit the subscribe button and check out other episodes with a lot of help, of course. And if anyone needs to see this show or hear it, please feel free to pass it on to people. This podcast also is on every streaming audio service you can think of, from Spotify to iHeartRadio to Deezer, Google, Apple. Anywhere you find your favorite podcast. A lot of help with James Lott Jr. Either it's a follow button or a like button. It's one of the two. I think some say subscribe to. But do that and share this with everyone. Let's share the good.
Thank you. Agreed. Exactly. Share the good.
And have compassion, have care, have concern. Please be safe as you can this Christmas time. And decorate. Bring joy. Have a great Christmas, everybody. And we will see you. This is the last show of the year for A Lot of Help. So we'll see you in 2021 with all new episodes, trying to navigate our way through life. Thank you, Summers. Thank you, everybody. Have a great holiday.